Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And I don't know, I don't really think I have had too much on my mind to talk about. Like I said, basically just been taking it easy, trying to keep my head up and stuff. You know, the huge. Sorry, I just realized something was up with my phone. I had this red light filter on it. The color filters on iPhone have it to red light for before bed, and I was thinking it looked all messed up. Now, I don't know, guys. I guess, I was feeling, I am feeling better. You just gotta you gotta do what you can with what you got. You know, we're all dealt different trials and tribulations, and I still think at the end of the day, I don't know if everybody can just change their reality or anything like that. I still think there's just a lot of those beliefs followed to their logical conclusion. It's just impossible, you know? I mean, you could be, or I could be, the special one. That's possible, but there's no way most people would just act like that. I don't know. Most people would not just be confident in themselves and figuring it all out. I just don't really think that's true. It's kind of a shame, but I just don't know how else to describe it. Apologies for not really being specific enough. I'm talking about manifestation kind of stuff and law of attraction stuff. It's just, if everybody did it, you would eventually reach a limit. I don't know. But if anything, things have gotten darker. I really don't think it's just me, but I do think there's been a decline just in people and being positive. Even though these ideas like manifestation or law of attraction, if anything, they've become even more widespread because now, technically any ideology has gotten more widespread because in the age of online internet personalities and the loss of monoculture, it actually makes it so, and I've talked about this before, more ideas can be spread because you have so many different voices offering a more personalized spin on it that would be more likely to win someone over. So what I mean by this is in the past, when there was more of a monoculture, you had celebrities that everybody knew. So if there was somebody talking about the law of attraction, it had to be, it was some person who was a known celebrity platforming it. It wasn't hyper-personalized to you. It was just trying to hit the broad populace and trying to be as persuasive or enticing as possible for the broad populace. But now, that's actually not a super effective way of doing things. Every person sort of has a limit, and they have to be hyper-personalized in a way. So there might be people all over social media only getting thousands of views, but then their take on the law of attraction is going to be personalized. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be specific to a certain cohort of people and specifically more persuasive to said cohort, as opposed to just being like broad, throwing shots in the dark and just trying to appeal to a singular, mostly similar mass population. It's scary. I mean, it's scary, man. Like, you know, I think we're really gonna see the death of relationships. And I don't really think it's gonna be like that Black Mirror episode where they have all the memories and information, and there was like, you know, certain stuff people tried to blank out. I don't think it's really even going to be like that. I think it's just not going to happen. Like, I just can't see how people are gonna... I just don't think they're gonna, like, exist. I mean, people will probably have short-term relationships, but even still, if you had memory and info on everybody before you dated them, which presumably could be the case in the future, you know, I don't know exactly, because there may be some kind of privacy laws in place, but if those privacy laws don't get... I just can't see how things will go on for much longer. And I guess when I say much longer, I mean, I don't mean anything, you know, super soon. I guess I would mean a full generation forward. So, like, well, even then, you still have... because some people don't really get into tech in the way other people do. Like, there still are some people, I assume, with lower screen times and things like that. So, I guess I'm being a little bit cynical, because it's not like every kid is going to be like a screen time maniac, screen addict. I just think the ones who are, it's going to be a problem. I feel like I'm not too clear right now or concise this morning. I guess I feel a bit scattered. And the words to say what I'm describing, it has like a fog over it. I don't know if that's coming across to y'all, but it's how I feel. And I don't know, I would attribute it to just my body trying to process what I've been going through and the meaning of it all and things like that. And, you know, it's something like that. It's something like that. I don't know. It's got to be something like that, but anyways. See, now I don't even remember what I was talking about. I miss the day. I miss the days when I had those hyperactive episodes, you know. You see the many sides of Schla documented on this show, but sadly, it's not... most of the time, I don't think it's the fun side. Most of the time, it's like the depressive side, I think. Like, it's not... but I'm just going through the motions. I'm going through the motions right now, and I'm trying to think of, potential ways or just stay up, to not get messed up. Now, this person pulled out in front of me kind of last minute, and I think slowed me down a lot. So I actually did get out of the house early like I wanted to, but I ended up driving pretty slow. So we'll probably end up getting there a normal time, even though I put in that effort. I really wanted to try to make it through the week without needing to get gas, but it didn't work out that way. It's not going to happen, so it's kind of sad. Kind of sad, isn't it? I guess, it just gets to the point where why does it feel like, is it just hedonism? I think it's just hedonism, where in my life I've had the luxury and ability to feel such highs that most people just never feel. I mean, most people's joy, it's limited and it's contained. Their joy is like eating a McDonald's Big Mac. And that's their joy, and it's not that special. It's repeatable. It's nothing that's hard to achieve. So my joy is a social joy. It's a joy, it's that feeling of really getting to a point where you're laughing and when you're comfortable with a person. And that hasn't happened in so long. A part of that is because of work. Obviously you can't expect, when I literally wasn't working, of course, I ended up intrinsically having more time to just pour all my time and energy into socializing. So yeah, it's I don't know, it was different. And now when you work, you don't really have that time anymore, because I'm the type, I really could talk to someone for hours, and I just can't do that anymore. I don't have the time to do that, and it genuinely seems like people are even less coordinated than they were. And I already thought that was on that trajectory even ages ago. That's kind of what I thought. I thought people were kind of not... People were more disconnected, people were more distracted, and it's hard for me to talk to people who are distracted. And especially now, that's just the norm. Everybody's distracted. It's definitely just near impossible to just have a conversation with someone. And with some people, you can have a conversation with them for a period of time, but then they eventually get distracted. So, that's another issue. There's some people I could talk to for a bit, but then they're eventually just going to get distracted. And And I don't know. Is it that I have high standards? Maybe, but I don't think it's high standards so much as... I don't know. And I felt my brain slip a little bit these days. in terms of focus and things like that. But I'm saying I honestly, I think conversational focus, it's just such a strong suit. Now, there's other things where I can't. So when I'm with a friend and we're watching like a TV show or a movie, I cannot pay attention to that. It's just not. I don't know. I've kind of always been that way. Like, it's just I don't know. I can't really like pay attention during a movie or a TV show. It's kind of difficult to do for me. I mean, I talk a lot during shows. I talk a lot. And yeah, I mean, that's like a whole thing. I can pay attention better when I'm allowed to ask questions. But yeah, I know, oddly enough, it's almost like I'm inverted, where if an actual person is talking, like, I pay attention to that, and that's stronger to me than a screen. Like, I don't really, if something's on a screen, like, that's not really that relevant to me. But if I know a real human is saying something, then that kind of strikes me a certain way. I don't know. It's just like, I just kind of listen more. But yeah, I mean, I've said before, AI could fix this in the future because it will just, you know, conversations will be very, you just rewind and, oh, this is what this person said, okay. And it'll all just kind of, you know, our brains will be mush, but it'll solve the problem. Like, it will solve a problem. Right now, technology is not being used to solve problems. It's still in the experimentation phase, and it's possible that at some point we could end up using it to solve problems more explicitly. But I guess there's no guarantee of that. You know, it could be. I feel like I talk about this a lot. There's definitely different timelines, and we could just be on the bad one where it's like tech just becomes a tool for corporate greed, and that's kind of it. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. You just don't know. You just don't. Now, I personally think that I don't think anything. I don't know what I was going. I just didn't. I don't know what just happened. Life is crazy. It's kind of sad though, because I'm off of that good cycle I was on. I mean, I was doing a lot of good. I mean, I guess it would have ran out eventually, inevitably, but I don't know. Still kind of sad. I was really optimizing things, and my sleep was nearly perfect, and all this crazy stuff, but I know now I just can't. I don't like it because I feel like everybody else, where the brain's sluggish, it's not fast, and it's just like I can't do stuff. You're made to feel inadequate. And when you've had that high in the cycle, it's really hard to go back, and you feel kind of embarrassed, you feel scared, you feel weak. Whereas if you're always like normal, if you're always normal, you don't get those feelings. You just don't. You don't get those swings, and you only know who you are. And so there's probably more of a peace to that. I would really think so. I think there's more of a peace. But I miss the past. I always find myself getting there. I mean, I think I was really born at the specific time I was born. It was calculated. It was, you can say all that stuff. But I still miss the past. I still wish I was born with an easier life, older than I am. I mean, but that's just not what was meant to be, I suppose. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. I mean, does everybody think they're here with a specific purpose? Does everybody think that? Are we supposed to do something, or is it more of an open canvas? Just wonder that, like, if, are we like seeds that were planted to grow into a specific plant, or is everything just the world is your oyster? I don't know what that expression actually means. I've just heard it, and I feel like it's correct in this tense, but if I sound stupid saying that, it's because I don't actually know. I don't know. I've actually no idea what that really means. So that's just a heads up. Somebody heard that and thought, what are you talking about? I don't know if I'm using that term correctly. But yeah, I mean, I can't get over all that I can't get over people. All the people I've known, I wish I still knew. I wish I was still in contact with, but everybody's gone. Am I really the only person who feels that way? Like, because I always get the impression that other people don't care. Does that make sense? Like, other people just don't care? Like, do you guys not mind that you don't have contact with certain people anymore? Like, is that just a me thing? Because I want to think that in the past that wasn't a huge issue. Just losing contact with people. Man, I really thought I was gonna get here like earlier. I guess that one person really threw me off. Probably because I know the speed difference matters more at lower speeds. So like, the difference between 35 and 40 is a much bigger difference than 55 and 50, for example. So I'm assuming that little stretch that I was bogged down in could have been an issue. You know what I mean? So I don't really know. It's a shame my car drops into fifth going around this one corner. It's just a bit too tight for me to feel super comfortable going around the turn. Because I have to stay above, I think it's something like 42. No, yeah, 42 to stay in sixth. And I really feel like that turn, it's just most comfortable at like 40. I mean, I can do it on 45, but tell it's kind of pushing the car a little bit, so I don't really, not too much of a fan of that. But yeah, here we are. It's another day. I honestly am getting kind of tired of working. I think it's because I bought everything I really wanted, and now I think I said this before, I picked all the low-hanging fruit. And all that's really left are things like a house or an apartment. And those accomplishments are just like not even worth it. I don't even, like for how much they cost, and they're not really as fun as the other things I've been getting. So yeah, I don't know. Like I'm in like a really weird funk with that kind of stuff. Now, as I've said before, I mean, I don't really know what to do because quitting the job is kind of stupid. Because, like, I don't know. Like, I almost feel like we're at a point where I almost think we're more interested in just working because we don't even know what to do anymore. We don't even know what to do with ourselves anymore. Like, in the past, it always felt like if we didn't work, we'd have so much fun. I think it's just because of limitations. So, like, we don't have limitation anymore. In the past, you were, like, in a lot of very limited circumstances. So, in terms of a mobile device, you only had, like, a portable gaming system. So, like, a Game Boy Advance or a really long time. Yeah, no, I'm going to just use what I'm more familiar with. So if you had like a Game Boy Advance or a DS Lite, like that was your mobile entertainment. And it obviously was not that strong. It was not that high of a dopamine source. It was a quality dopamine source, but it wasn't high. I mean, it wasn't like comparable to a lot of the microtransaction, super good games that are prevalent now. Like it was more boring than that, or like especially TikTok and the scroll feeds and things like that. I mean, those kind of games, they were good. They were good games, but they obviously were not as stimulating. There was a limitation in a mobile setting. Nowadays, there's really not much of a limitation anymore. You know, you have a phone, you basically have cell reception everywhere you go, and that's it. You know, like you don't really have to. Sorry, what I was getting at is in the past it was like you couldn't bring a computer everywhere you went. You know, like there were certain games that were obviously internet based on the computer that I would, you know, potentially want to play on my I would potentially want to play them on the go, but you couldn't do that. Like, you didn't, especially as a kid, you didn't have like cell data, you didn't have internet. And so yeah, like you just couldn't do some of these things that you could on your computer. And it's the same with watching TV. Now, I guess you kind of started to see that if you bought a movie or a TV show that you really liked on iTunes, you could watch it on the go. But it was like a really tiny screen. You know, nowadays we actually have pretty massive screens. You know, all these things I'm talking about, like the DS Lite or the Game Boy Advance, they were really tiny. So it wasn't, and even the original iPods and stuff, I mean, you could watch movies or TV shows, but it was a tiny, ugly screen. Now we have like these gorgeous, giant screens to consume content with. There's no limitation. So nothing really matters anymore because, like, you do the same thing at home as you do at work. Like, during your work break, you open up your phone and scroll TikTok. And then when you get home, you open your phone and you scroll. You see what I'm saying? Like, people, there's no limitation. There's no limitation at all. And we even at the point now where it's just like all the same. You know, I don't know. There's probably a lot of people who function like that. And then, so there's not really, like, there's no reason to be home. There's no reason to be at work. Everything you want is delivered to you right on your phone. So, like, doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter which, I mean, like, you come home, what are you coming home to? You're not coming home to peace. You're just coming home to, like, the same addiction. It's not really anything crazy. Like, I don't know. It's sad that this is how things are, but that's what I mean, how it could just be a hedonistic conclusion to things. Yeah, I'm kind of ticked off. I really thought I was going to be out here like early. It's going to come down to light luck as usual, which is, you know, not a good thing to bank on. Now, yeah, so it really messes us up, and that's what I'm saying, where it's like joy is no longer possible because we just always have what we want. You never like don't get what you want. And so that is an obvious issue and flaw, like with the hedonistic conclusion. It's not how life is supposed to be, and it's not fun. Now, I try to actually purposely do this within my life. I limit what I do and it's something I notice like nobody else does, but I purposely won't do something. Like if there's something I do on the weekend, I like try to keep it to there. I don't just try to do stuff all the time, if that makes any sense. So I've been ahead of the game with this, but I still think it would be like I would still be happier if there were just like systemic limits put in place or something like that. It just gets frustrating though, because humans always want and are always in that pursuit of hedonism. So even if you put these limits in, by the way, we did get perfect light luck. So we're actually doing pretty good, but not exceptionally good, but just, yeah, I mean, we did get perfect light luck, so that's fire. Like, humans were always going to want to be experimenting and seeing what we could be or what we could do. That's what we want. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's what we're always going to be in pursuit of, is this better. And we've seen now, like, we're here. We are at the better best. Like, this is it. You really don't need a new phone as long as you have a phone that's fairly recent. Like, I was just thinking about this, how the difference between the 6S Plus and the 10S Plus iPhone, that was a pretty big difference. And then you could kind of argue the 10S Plus to like the 13 Pro Max was another fairly big difference. But then when you go from the 13 Pro Max to like the 16 Pro Max, that's where things start to really taper off pretty significantly. I mean, it's just not that different, and so it's a problem because you don't really have much else to do or look forward to, honestly. It's just like you don't need a new phone, you don't need any new technology, and in my case, I just got gypped again. I literally hate, I gotta be more positive than that, but wow. Yeah, no, so I only ended up getting here. That is kind of strange, because I only got here 2 minutes earlier than yesterday, and that was like, I left the house probably 3 or 4. So I do think that, again, that short little duration where that person got in front of me, they really cut it too, like when that person did that. I don't know. They kind of pushed it. But yeah, there's just no limits. It's just like, I don't even know. There's like nothing to look forward to, because we already got to the point where everything the best it can be is just always available. Like, you're not really waiting for anything. And again, it's true. It's difficult to limit yourself. I think I do a better job of it than most people I've seen. That's kind of it. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. My apologies. Because a lot of people just do stuff, and like, they're not really thinking about trying to limit themselves. And I try to do that, but it's difficult when you're around, like, you're in a world where that's just not that's not fashionable. It's confusing to people. I don't know that people can even. That's what I'm saying, because people just love that hedonistic conclusion, and so you can't like. I guess it's a difficult I mean, I don't think it's hard to understand, but I do think for some people they just don't. No, I actually think most people do get it. I just think, yeah, I don't think it's that hard of a concept. I mean, I guess it's possible that people wouldn't get it, but I honestly think it's pretty self-evident. I think the bigger issue is people not being like organized enough to get it, if that makes any sense. Like, people just kind of can't help it and just end up like, if they want something, they just do it. I think that's really the greater problem. All right, guys. Well, it's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So, see you, schla.